everybody. My name's Christina Cheyne and I work as part of the Specsavers recruitment group in Cornwall. Here today to tell you a little bit more about life at Specsavers, how we operate and the sort of people that we'd be looking for. So first of all, I'd like to give you a little bit of an overview onto our company and a little bit of history. So, we opened our first store in 1984, and that was in the UK. First store in Ireland opened in 1990. 1997, we moved into the Netherlands. 2003, we launched our famous Should Have Gone to Specsavers strapline. 2004, we expanded into audiology. So this now sort of provides us the opportunity to provide hear tests as well as eye tests across all of our stores. 2005, 2006, 2007, we moved into Norway, Spain, Finland, Australia, and New Zealand. With 2013 being a really important year for Specsavers, where we first launched our home visit service. So this enables us to reach those in the community with limited or reduced mobility, and we're able to go into their homes and provide a full eye test for them in the comfort of their own home, so they don't need to sort of move into our stores. We can go and visit them directly. 2016 and most recently we expanded into our enhanced optical services. So this essentially means with all of the new technology that we have available, our optometrists in store are able to practice as doctors of the eyes and provide a really enhanced clinical service for all of our patients. So you get the idea. We are quite a big company, but on a global scale, what does that look like at present? So we have, at the moment, 57 stores in Ireland and 16 audiology stores. We are opening new stores all the time, and I think it's really important to say as well that all of the stores in Ireland are Irish-owned by Irish directors. A lot of them started as sort of part-time optical assistants and have worked their way up either to lead optometrists and then sort of moved into Specsavers pathway, so they actually own their own stores as well. In the UK, it's our largest market at the moment with 816 stores, 191 audiology businesses and 49 domiciliary partnerships. We're in Norway, Sweden, Finland and Denmark. Australia is our largest growing market at present. We have 330 stores, 51 audiology businesses, and New Zealand growing rapidly there as well, 52 stores at present. So again, we are big, but we're getting bigger. Let's look at the last year in numbers. At the moment, we have 3,000 plus partners, 1.6 million customer feedback responses. At the moment, 37,000 plus employees, and we're here today to hopefully find a few more as well. We have over 2,000 optical and audiology stores, over 400,000 hearing aids sold, 21.6 million glasses sold year to date with 530 million contact lenses and 1.4 million visitors to our website every week, and we've just launched our brand new Specsavers Careers website as well, so that's still growing and getting bigger. I think it's quite important to give you a bit of an understanding of the sort of work that we do in store. So yes, we test people's ears, yes, we test people's eyes, but it does make a real difference. So I'd just like to show you a really quick video. We do have a number of these, but this is one of my favourites, and this is Cian's story.
I'm Cheryl. I'm grandma to Cian. He lives with me and Grandad and his sisters. I'm a happy little lad. We had a little family out into Specsavers. We were all checked and Cian was the last one.
They put a light touch with this kind of machine on my eyes.
When my colleague actually did the check, the optic nerve looked like it was swollen, and typically that's caused by increased fluid pressure around the brain.
And she just said that, he really needed referring, classing it as urgent. So we took Cian up to the hospital, and Cian was then booked in for an MRI brain scan. We were called into a room with two doctors, and they said they'd found 2 tumours in Cian's brain. We just fell apart. All the time he's still playing with the toys outside. That was the Tuesday, and he actually had brain surgery on the Wednesday.
It's in hospital and for a bit, and I had to have an operation.
The eyesight was normal and we picked it up from a subtle change in the optic nerve. Typically when you do get to this stage, the patient's got more symptoms, so we picked it up at such an early stage, which is just really, really rare.
He wasn't poorly, it was just a random eye test at Specsavers. If he hadn't have had it, he might not be here now. There's little things he can't do that he used to, but hopefully in a couple of months he'll be back to how he was before.
You have to go and get your eyes checked in case you might be poorly.
As a family, we're just so grateful he picked up on it, they followed it through, they got him that appointment, and, you know, Cian's here today, smiling and being his normal self.
So there we are. I think it just sort of shows the importance of making sure we are all going to have regular checkups, and also the importance of what all of our guys in store do as well, and how sort of strong it is to work with Specsavers and the difference that you really can make to somebody's lives. So what I'd like to do now is just sort of explain a little bit more about the sort of careers that we're able to offer. Day-to-day duties would be looking after our customers, providing full customer journey, and lots of progression available when you enter as an optical assistant. You have two different routes. You could go down a clinical route, so we could provide training to become a dispensing optician or a contact lens optician, or you might want to go down the managerial route, so we'd look at roles within sort of, you know, as a supervisor or store manager, and you can also complete the Specsavers pathway, which would enable you to have your own store one day as well. Our hair care assistants are very, very similar duties to our optical assistants. They're responsible for performing hair care tests and the initial screening on all of our patients in audiology. Lots of progression available again for our hair care assistants. You can go on for clinical training and become a hearing aid dispenser or an audiologist. Again, Specsavers are able to provide the funding and the training for our hair care assistants. Or again, likewise, it might be more the managerial route that you'd be interested in. Either way, you can kind of go down whichever route you want and move on to have your own store one day as well. Our lab techs are kind of the unsung heroes of our business, in all honesty. I don't think it's particularly well known, but a lot of the Specsavers stores that you see on the high streets, they have their own labs either on the top floor or maybe around the back. And in there, all of our lab techs are making every single frame and prescription to order. Their daily duties, they're blocking, tinting, cutting everybody's frames as they go along, so everything's made in store. Progression for a lab tech, you could go on to have further sort of clinical qualifications. You could move on to a lab manager position, and you can, of course, move on to have your very own store one day as well. Finally, our management structure. Managers are so important within all of our stores. They are responsible for all of the training and development. They are responsible to make sure everybody's in the right place at the right time and make sure our clinics are running smoothly. Progression for a retail manager, you'd probably be looking to go on to complete the Specsavers pathway accreditation, and that would of course enable you to have your very own store one day as well. So those are the roles that you're able to sort of start with no previous experience at all. Specsavers will train you up and move forward that side. So our professional and clinical positions, our audiologists. So to practice within a store as an audiologist, you would need to be qualified with a relevant degree in either hearing aid science or within audiology. Your day-to-day duties, you'd be performing hair tests on patients and kind of going through that whole process and providing aftercare and advice. Progression for an audiologist, you can go on to complete further clinical training and development, or again you could go on to complete the Specsavers pathway, and that would enable you to buy shares in your own Specsavers store one day as well. Our dispensing opticians and contact lens opticians. So to practice as a CLO or a DO in store, you would need to be a qualified dispensing optician with the relevant contact lens specialism. Your day-to-day duties, you're going to be dispensing glasses to our patients, so it'll be a mixture of both children and adults, and obviously providing the aftercare and advice and the full sort of patient cycle. And progression, you have a few different routes. Again, you're able to complete further clinical progressions, so you would be able to train to become an optometrist. You could sort of specialise, obviously, as a CLO and move forward into more sort of specialism in that particular field, or of course you can complete your Specsavers pathway and buy shares in your own store. And finally, our optometrists. So to practice as an optometrist in store, you would need to be a qualified optometrist with a degree in optometry. Specsavers can and do help a lot of our optical assistants who've started sort of working part-time on a Saturday. We have stores in Galway, we have stores in Cork where the directors actually started on a part-time basis.